This is T, a member of Server 1's ISC and leader of Server 17's T-Shop, and in this video, instead of summoning on the new Naruto banner, which I actually did, but the footage got corrupted, instead I'm going to be making a 100 subscriber and 100 Discord channel member celebration video, where I will be doing a quick tutorial on how to make your own Tribe's custom units. So these can be literally anything you want as long as you have the images and time for it. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. If you open the link in the description below for the Tribe's assets, you can find the full file for this with all the layers. So if you open that and get pretty much any Photoshop thing that's compatible with that file type, you can use this. Personally, I'm using paint.net, which works pretty well for me. It's easy to learn, pick up, use, etc. So first of all, you're going to want to get yourself a bit familiar with Photoshop if you haven't. So on the right here, I have all the layers, which can be accessed through this, as long as you have that enabled. Colors are down here, which we're also going to be using, which is right here. So first, we're going to want to make note of the options for rarities. So if you click the checkbox here, it'll make them visible. So I selected UR, as you can tell, it's now appearing. Make sure you don't have multiple at once of certain things because they'll overlap and kind of look funny. Rarities don't matter because they'll work no matter which ones you have selected because of the size. But if you go to, like, for example, the borders and layer them, it doesn't quite look right, since there's things that are partially transparent. So if you want to select, let's say, the red border, or in this case, I'll just select the blue border, you're going to want to make sure all the other borders are disabled. Because it does go in order of the layers here, so whatever's on top will be on top. So if you select T-type, let's say, make sure to not have D-type enabled, because since it is above, it will overlap. So we're just going to choose A here. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to make an existing unit already, except actually move some of the images around. So what we're going to want to do is basically just grab images and then drag them in. So for this Kakashi, you're going to want to go to the Tribe's assets and then find whatever images you want. So, and then make sure you download them. So let's say I wanted Obito instead here. You would go to his assets, find his 5-star art, and then go into File Explorer, and then just drag it in like this, and then you're going to want to open it. So it's like this. So if you select it, you copy, and you go back to the top to this layer here, or this project, and then wherever you copy it, it will go onto that layer, so you're going to want to make sure that everything has its own separate layers. So if I were to put Obito in it instead, make sure to always keep canvas size, because if you don't, then it'll mess it up. It'll mess the file up like this. So we're going to paste it in here, keep canvas size, and then you're just going to adjust it, do whatever you want with it, place it, etc. But for this video, I'm just going to be doing Kakashi. So next we're going to want to do is on other layers, put some art there. So the exact same thing, just put it on. And with any images you put on, if they are outside of the border, like let's say I grab Obito's 5-star art here, you notice that it's poking out the side. So in order to solve that, what you're going to want to do is get the magic wand tool, go to the layer named Art Cutout, which is a layer of black that's all the way around. I want to select that, and then go back to whatever layer it is that you're deleting part of, and then press delete. So, back to the other art. I did the exact same thing with a few other layers just to give it more depth. And now that that's done, we can now start adding the other aspects of the unit. So you're going to want to do all of this with guide lights on. As you can tell, there are some numbers and lines that will basically help you figure out where and how big to have the text. Make sure you have the exact same font as this one, or at least something very similar. I have a link in the description below for that as well. If you want to know how to install that and get it working with your Photoshop, there's plenty of stuff out there for explaining that. Just simply go into Google and type like how to add new fonts to blah blah blah, whatever Photoshop program you're using. So you're going to want to go to not guidelines but text highlight, and you're going to want to make sure you have white enabled here, not black, and then type whatever it is you need. So if I wanted to, let's say, set the example to this, I type this out, just put like the power, make sure it's the exact same size, and then what you're going to want to do is just line it up like this. So obviously I have another power set there, but you get the point. It's lined up the right size, so if you remove guidelines and have text highlight enabled, it fits perfectly like that. So same thing with the other text. You're going to want to make sure it's lined up, same size, everything. And then after that, what you're going to want to do is make sure it has some form of drop shadow, highlight, or anything like that, a glow. So there are several ways to do this. One would be to simply I'm just going to make a new set of text here. Test, just for example purposes. So if you look at this, it doesn't quite fit. It's kind of hard to see. The reason for this is because it needs some form of shadow or highlight around it. So you have the numbers right here. You can adjust this, find whatever works, and hit OK. So you can tell that looks a lot better. It's easier to read and it just fits better. So another way to do this instead of drop shadow is going over to outline. Same thing, just find whatever works. Just put this here again, show you. Go to object, outline object. There you go. You can tell it's got a little outline. Easier to read. Find whichever one works best for you, whichever one you think looks most like the game, I guess. There's one last way you can do this if you don't have any of those extensions on whatever program you're using. If you go to text shadow, and then you're going to want to do the exact same text as you did before. You're going to want to line it up perfectly and make sure that it is black. So if that's set behind as a black, then what you can do is go to photo and then glow, like that. So as you can tell, it makes it a bit darker on the outside, so you might be thinking, wait, that doesn't quite look right, it doesn't work as well as the others. Well, if you repeat it a few times, you'll notice you get basically the exact same effect. So there you go, it's like a shadow behind it. So that pretty much concludes the tutorial. You mess with this around however much you want. Make whatever you want. I've already made tons and tons of projects with this exact same method as you can tell. If you want to go to extreme lengths, you can basically just create whatever you want, but you're going to want to make sure that whatever you're adding in, you want to try and copy like the style of art. So as you can tell, I basically use some methods to kind of make it look more like tribes art. One way to do this, the best in my opinion, would just to be quite literally make the art yourself. Do similar art styles with like the lines and all that. But if you can't do that or don't want to, another method you can do is simply to go to the brush tool, go to fill, and then select whatever line you think works best there. Like let's just go to forward diagonal for explanation purposes. Make a new layer, then you can just go over it. Make sure the white right here is set to completely transparent, and like that. So you can just add lines however way you want. Try and make it fit. You can adjust the transparency to make it a little lighter, etc, etc. So you can just mess around with that like I did with this, try and make it fit. And I believe that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, hope it helped. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, request whatever you want. For future videos, I might do them. If you're interested, we also have a Discord link in the description below. We do lots of fun stuff there, events. And if you want team build, anything like that, just feel free to ask. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.